Trish Robichaud here with Dawn Silverstein at MS Relief on Choose Joy TV, and we are doing our Weight Loss for Wellness show, this week's version, and which is my coaching session. Dawn, a intrinsic nutritional coach, she is providing me support in my weight loss journey. And good to talk with you again, Dawn.
You too, Trish. I'm interested to hear how your homework assignment went.
Well, you know, right off the top, okay, here's the good news.
That's what I want. I want to hear what's new and good.
Okay,
your box.
This is my God box. Okay.
Beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
It's stone.
Very pretty. Stone.
And I bought it probably, I think I've had it, I'm going to say around 6 years or so. And the last time I touched it was when I put this inside. You can see that. There's a note card inside there. And we're going to go back to this in a minute because I haven't read, I have not read what was on that card since I put it in about 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
The rest of the homework assignment, well, one piece of
let's review what that was. Let's for those who hadn't tuned in. You were going to create an environment for success. And that meant decluttering your workspace.
Yes.
That was one. 2 was you going to establish your anchors. And the God box is one of the anchors.
Yes.
So then so people know what we're talking about, what your homework was.
Good.
So how did the decluttering of the workspace go?
Okay. Let's just get really, really honest here, okay?
Anytime someone answers that question with okay, there's usually a but. Yes.
It's looking a little bit better than the last time.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely,
right.
yes.
But ultimately, what really happened was I picked up everything that was in the pile. And I put it all nicely stacked in this tray. Okay. So
yes.
I have to say there's a little bit of progress.
Yes, it's an organized mess.
It's an organized mess, yes.
Right.
But the chaos that's in this pile is still very reflective of the chaos that's going on in my life and my head right now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to.
So what does it mean for you now that it's actually in a defined space?
It actually makes it more approachable.
Great.
So at this, my homework will be to take this and take it out to the kitchen where there's a large space at my kitchen table and sort everything in this pile by priority. Actually, I usually sort by 2 things. By priority and the length of time it's going to take. The time it's going to take to accomplish whatever's associated with this item in the pile. Okay, so anything that's like it's going to take less than 5 minutes, they all go into one pile together. All right?
Okay.
And then, of course, there's by priority, so the higher priority things go in a different pile than the stuff that, you know, if I got to it a month from now, it's not a big deal.
Okay, so today is Friday. When are you going to go through that process of spreading it out on the table and establishing what's what?
I can do that tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I don't have any firm commitments, and I'm just going to get this pile out of my sight so that it's not stressing me. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So, there we go. And there's my little boy, see?
Yes, we love him. We love when he makes little appearances and he sticks his head through the curtain. Yes. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love when he does that.
Okay, so where are we?
Awesome. Your anchors. You have your stone box, your God box is there.
Yes.
You are also going to, we're going to work on sight, smell, and song. So these are all things that were anchoring you to your motivation for why this matters to you and why you want to reach a certain level of health. So what did you do about sight? You talked about pretty Post-it notes.
Didn't do it. Didn't get there. So
smell. You're going to take out your incense burner.
Didn't do it.
And you're going to choose a song.
And I know the song, but I don't have it there. And so, sorry, while I'm looking like I'm looking frantically around me, I'm looking for my notepad that I buried in the pile.
Yes, it's in the tray.
It's in the tray, okay. So here, this is my my phone recorder notes. So I'm going to use this here. All right, so I need to do the song.
Right.
And I also need to do the incense.
And the pretty Post-it notes.
Oh yes, the Post-it notes. But you know what? We're going to do smell right now.
Okay.
Because I'm very much about aromatherapy. So I didn't have to reach very far to get my aromatherapy candle. Okay.
Okay.
And then the Post-it notes. All right. So
what do you think stood in your way of getting those other things accomplished?
Perfect question. By the way, your plant in the background, it kind of, it's looking a little droopy, I think, and
it's a little droopy.
It's a very good symbolism for where I feel like I'm at.
A little droopy.
Yes, a little droopy.
And I do water it. I'm sorry for the people with green thumbs. I apologize, but yes. Did you have a droopy weekend?
I've had a droopy
week. A droopy week,
I've
even?
had a droopy week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
was the due to MS symptoms or what was going on?
No, I think it's definitely got to do with the chaos in my brain.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the timing of all this for me is really perfect. There's been an expression I've been embracing this week. It's an expression that I used with Linda Grace Cox, my co-founder at MS Relief. And she's been an amazing inspiration to me. And one of the things that inspired me this week was I was talking to her about embracing the perfection of our imperfection. And I really have been trying to look at that this week because the embracing my imperfection, I've been trying to use that as my mantra this week. Because I'm just so imperfect right now.
Oh, aren't we all? If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here.
You're right. Absolutely. You're right. But of course, when you're having coaching sessions that are broadcast live, and you really want to be pulling up your socks, so to speak, lead by example, inspire others. There's just no pressure there at all.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
And getting back to your question around what may have gotten in my way this week is I have become very, very painfully aware of a common theme throughout different aspects of my life in the last few weeks. I am actually currently working with a gentleman by the name of Simon in the UK, and he is my business coach. He's helping me work on my business. And I also work with a gentleman by the name of Jerry, who is my money management coach. Because that's one of my difficult places in my life is managing my money. I don't seem to have a problem with all the marketing of the business and the building income and whatnot, but I just don't manage it very well. So that's something I'm currently working on with Jerry. And I also work with Laura. Okay, Laura is my life coach. Okay, and the common theme that keeps rising to the surface in all of my coaches is that I tend to procrastinate the things in my life that are of highest value. So, for example, actually doing my homework from my last session with you should have been like right at the top of the list, especially when, you know, the accountability here online. Hello, Trish, get it together. You know, so on the one hand, I totally beat myself up for that. But when I start to see a common theme in other areas, then I think there's a bigger problem. So, and I mean, another...
So what were you doing instead? What did you do instead?
I worked on MS Relief. I worked on, you know, the website. I have a number of clients that I'm working on their websites right now, so I did some website
So were those things that had to get done? Was there a time constraint on those things?
I would say yes, the websites for the clients. And to some degree, MS Relief. But in the grand scheme of things, my weight loss journey and my wellness journey, I should say, it should take higher priority than throwing a few extra plugins into the website on MS Relief, you know?
Right. So when we talked about why you're even doing this, you know, why now? Why does this matter? You know, do we need to go back then? Do you need to reinforce why this is so important? What do you think has been, what stood in your way in the past? Because is it rebellion? Is there fear? I mean, do you know, or do we need to really explore the why? Because sometimes you already know why you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and other times you don't.
There might be some rebellion. I definitely grew up in an environment of loads and loads and loads of rules and a lot of restriction, right? So it was always trying to fit within that box, you know, that so there may very well be some rebellion. I've never thought about that before. That's pretty insightful. Thank you, Dawn.
Because did you think that if you're feeling like you were told this is what you need to do, this is what you have to do, that's external. And we came up with that, what you were choosing to declutter, that was your choice. You chose your workspace. So there shouldn't be any rebellion attached to it because it was your decision. I didn't say to you, go declutter your kitchen.
Absolutely.
Or your dining room or your bedroom closet. I asked you what you needed to do to create a space for success, an environment for success. And you immediately pointed to your work environment. So maybe we need to talk about that more. You know, what is, you work really hard and give a lot of yourself to that. But where are you scheduling time for yourself? Where's your self-care scheduled into the day?
My self-care is usually evenings with my husband. But, and over the last, I would say the majority of the years I've been in business, I work 3.5 days a week, and so Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday are where I go with my self-care. Certainly there's other commitments that I need to, you know, family commitments all the time, but but honestly, in the last couple of months, I have been in, this is me fessing up, getting totally real. I have been in 100% workaholic mode for the last few months. I've been under some financial pressure, so I've really been pushing all of the boundaries with my work, with how much time I spend on work. It's way too many. And so that's okay. This is me getting here very real about this, so I have to do something about it. Yeah. And so
well,
therefore there's
there's
not enough time left over for self-care because I'm putting too much into work.
Okay, and that happens, and you have to take care of your life. But do you also understand that you can't take care of your life if you are on bed rest? If you push yourself to the limit, right? Not. So it's self-defeating to go full tilt.
Yeah.
So what if we created a time constraint because when you take on a project like decluttering, it can be overwhelming because there may, for you, feel like there's no end in sight. There's no time limit end in sight. So if we decide that you are going to take 20 minutes, that's it. Whatever you get accomplished in those 20 minutes is better than nothing. It doesn't have to be a half-day project. It doesn't have to be an hour. But if you took 20 minutes once a week, in a few weeks, you'd have transformed your environment without sacrificing the time and effort you need to put into your business. Does that feel more manageable?
Yes, and it reminds me of a strategy that worked for me at one point in time that I have lost sight of, and that is around, I get stuck in this all or nothing thinking, so some is better than none,
Right.
And
right.
So I think that's a key piece for me to, yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is then you're going to set a timer for 20 minutes. And like on Saturday, when you're going to go through this paperwork tomorrow, you're going to set a timer for 20 minutes. And whatever you get done, you get done. And then leave it alone, put it away, and move on with the rest of your day. Don't think about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't say that wasn't enough. Nothing. There's no messages attached after the task. Just do the task for 20 minutes and put it away. Does that feel more comfortable?
Yeah, actually, when you said, when I'm thinking about tomorrow and going through the pile to spend 20 minutes on it and then put it away, I felt a sense of, wow, then okay, I can do whatever I want after that because it's my day off.
Exactly. Exactly. And I actually could see you breathe differently when I said that.
Cool.
So this is not punishment. And I think when a strong suggestion is made to somebody, we can tend to be tense up, especially if it's something that you don't really want to do. I don't like the word should, but that there's a benefit here for you. But I don't want you to spend all day on it. It's your day off. So you're only going to spend 20 minutes. So once it's done, woohoo, that's it. You're done for the day. And you're done until the following Saturday when you're going to do it again for another 20 minutes. So that decluttering will be an ongoing project until you feel like that space is clear for you. So we'll check in every week to see how you feel about the space you're in.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, and so
now we can...
My only resistance to the 20 minutes, Dawn, is like, what could I accomplish in 20 minutes?
Let's give it a try. Before you tell me how it's not going to work,
okay,
do it first.
Okay. All right. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do it first. And then, let's see. You'd be surprised how much you can accomplish when there's an end in sight. So let's do it first and tell me how much you didn't get done, and then we'll revamp it.
Okay.
And the same thing with the song. And is the Post-its a matter of you haven't been out to the store or haven't ordered supplies or
no.
What's that about?
I got a whole bloody supply on my shelf up there.
Oh, okay. Okay, just haven't reached it yet. And the song you chose, but you haven't put it on your PC.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's actually on
what
my
needs
PC.
To happen?
It's on my PC. All my music is on my PC. I just have to get a shortcut set up to that particular song. Yeah.
Okay. So what is required for you to do that? How much time is required?
30 seconds. No, not even.
Okay, you know what? I want you to do it right now.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now. I am going to... Oh, and you know what? I can't do it right now. What? It's going to screw up our recording.
Oh, because,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do it as soon as we hang up. You're going to do it.
Desktop.
And then you're gonna email me and tell me that you did it.
I'll do that.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay. So are you feeling like you have more of a plan now to be successful in accomplishing the previous assignment?
Well, if all I'm allowed to dedicate to my declutter homework is 20 minutes a week, I think I can definitely handle that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it
feels lighter.
Great.
Yeah, it definitely
Perfect.
feels lighter.
Perfect. That's what we're going for. All right. So now we can move on to. I had sent you a form. I don't know if you had a chance to open it or not. I had sent you an email with a form called Appetite Awareness.
No, I didn't get that. Maybe it's in my spam folder. I will write it down so I remember, and we'll talk about it next week then.
Well, we'll talk about it now, but you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to actually see it in order to discuss it.
Okay.
Because this is how I want you to start moving through your day. Again, we're not talking about the actual food that you're eating. We're going to start focusing on the why you're eating and your level of hunger before, during, and after.
Okay.
And this starts to tie it's the mind-body connection that is imperative. Because you have been on how many diets throughout your life, right? It's not about the food, right? We know this. It's not about the food. It's not the counting of the calories and the measuring and the things like that. The problem with following a plan like that, and there are benefits to that because they can be very educational visually, and just give people a better sense of what's a good portion for them. The problem is when you go off of that plan, or you're out of your environment, or you go on vacation, or you go to someone else's home, if you don't have that specific food around you, there's a loss. And when there's a loss and confusion, there's a feeling of lack of control. So what happens then is if we haven't developed better skills, we fall back on our old habits, which is just eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
just eat it all and worry about it tomorrow. If you actually had a better sense of whether or not you were even hungry, then it doesn't matter what you're eating or where you are or where you go. It liberates you from all of that. Does that sound like something you could use for the rest of your life?
Absolutely. Liberation from the old pathways, from the old patterns of behavior. Yes.
Right. Because it also would move you away from whether or not it's allowed and whether or not you are being good or bad.
Yeah.
Because that's language that does not belong in these discussions. It just doesn't belong. Food is not good or bad. It's just food.
Okay.
People make choices. They make decisions every time they choose to eat something or not eat something. They're just choices. It doesn't make you good or bad.
Right.
It's just a choice. So, and whether or not something is allowed is external. Again, that's about someone else's rules for you. Mm-hmm. You need to develop your own rules for yourself, if you even want to call them rules. They're guidelines, really. They're parameters. So when you have a mind-body connection, then you can, initially it's a little cumbersome because it's new and a little clunky. It feels a little clunky. But you should ask yourself a few questions. Am I even hungry? If I am hungry, is this what I want? Is this going to serve me? How am I going to feel afterwards? How do I want to feel afterwards? Mm-hmm. Those questions that you're used to asking yourself about eating?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No.
So what's coming up for you around even asking yourself those questions?
In the past, food has always been, or I should say eating, has always been just a knee-jerk reaction for me.
Right.
And that might be a knee-jerk reaction to I'm actually physically hungry. But probably most of the time it was a reaction to being emotionally hungry, or being angry, or frustrated or lonely or whatever.
Right.
In the last few months, where I've been focusing on a healthier choices. I have started to notice when I'm actually hungry. In fact, I've actually learned how to recognize when my blood sugar is dropping.
Great.
And so, because it's a certain feeling I get. And
yes.
So I know I need to eat.
Right.
Now,
do you know what you need to eat?
Usually, I guess yes and no to that. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If I'm reaching for something to eat because I feel like it's been too long since I've eaten, I'm usually grabbing something like an apple, which I know is going to benefit my blood sugar pretty good.
Great.
But sometimes I feel like I want something with more sustenance to it, and in that case I'll probably put some peanut butter on a whole wheat toast, and
great.
And then I slice apples and put it on top of the peanut butter. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a snack I described in the webinar we just did.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
I love apples and peanut butter together. It's almost as good as bananas and peanut butter. Anyway.
And put a little cinnamon on there too. It's delicious.
Really? Never tried that. I have to think about that. Okay. So when I'm feeling like I want something more substance, I'm definitely reaching for something with protein.
Good.
I keep, like low-fat cheddar cheese in the house, the brick kind, and I'll cut some of that up and have it with a couple of pickles. Cheese and pickles together, to me, just to die for. And then throw some carrots and some dip or something on a plate with it,
Right. Okay. So you are aware of a sensation that means that you need food.
Yeah, but that's only a new experience for me in the last, couple months.
That's okay. Yeah. We're going to take that and run with it. But that's awesome. So the form that I sent you is a worksheet, and you are going to print that out for yourself. You're going to print out a bunch of them, because every day when you eat, doesn't matter what you eat necessarily, because it doesn't even ask what you're eating. It just says on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being you're starving and 7 being you're beyond full, you're going to mark how hungry you were and then how you felt when you were done, and your feelings before you started to eat. Like, what? Were you anxious? Were you depressed? Were you angry? Or were you really just hungry? Were there no emotions especially cropping up for you? So it takes a while. This is a process. This is, it's called appetite awareness, and it's a training. So we're going to do this for a while, probably actually for a couple of weeks, because you're going to start to see a pattern emerge that will help you connect to why you're eating. This is about mindful eating. Because if you master this skill, it doesn't matter where you go.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what food's in front of you, because if you learn to check in with yourself, basically is what you're doing, then you'll know when you should eat and when you should stop. So it's liberating in that sense as well. It's like we do eat at normal times for the most part. You have a dinner time and so forth, but it helps to establish a pattern, and it will be very illuminating to you about what types of, we'll get later on into what foods you choose according to the emotions that are going on. And that's another level of this. But the initial process is really just connecting your emotions to how much you eat or don't eat. Okay. So I would suggest that I would suggest that you print out a week's worth of these sheets and keep them in the kitchen. Put them on a clipboard if that's easier for you, but keep them visible. Because to ask yourself 4 hours later how you felt when you ate something 4 hours ago, it's not an accurate remembrance.
I get you.
So it really does need to be somewhat in the moment. You don't have to be chewing the food and marking it down, but it needs to be within that time frame, within that episode of eating. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the clipboard suggestion. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, it really does help.
I'll do that.
It's better. Even if you have the clipboard and it's on the refrigerator with a pen attached to it, whatever you need to do to keep it visible. And this is not about judgment. This is just really for you to start to see a pattern emerge. So it's once you unlock this box, it really is going to start you on a whole nother path, a totally different journey with your relationship with food.
Well, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
So that's your homework is getting that under that project undergoing, and you're going to put your song shortcut on your PC, and you have your candle there today, so that counts for you as your smell. And then you're going to do the 20 minutes of See? Are we at a concert? And you're going to do your 20 minutes.
Yes, of decluttering.
Yes. We need to break things down into bite-sized chunks. You go back to a food wording is you can't eat the whole cow at once. You need to only take a bite of how much you can actually chew and swallow at one time.
Okay.
So that's why we're gonna break that down. All right. So how does that sound?
That sounds good. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. So this is Trish Robichaud and Dawn Silverstein signing off on Weight Loss for Wellness on Choose Joy TV. I hope you join us again next week. Have a good time. Bye.